Iran, 26th day of protest by workers at major sugarcane mill. The 26th day of strike by the workers of Haft Tappeh sugarcane mill was held in front of the governorate. The workers were chanting, "Imprisoned workers must be freed." The regime's security agents have arrested Ali Nejati, the former head of the workers' union, on Thursday morning and transferred him to an unknown place while he is suffering a heart problem. The Iranian Resistance calls on the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, the International Labour Organization, trade unions and labour unions all over the world to take urgent action to free Nejati and other detained workers and to support striking workers. US accuses Iran of violating UN arms export ban, says Iranian threat growing. The US has accused Iran of stepping up violations of a UN ban on arms exports by increasingly supplying weapons to militant groups across the Middle East and continuing its missile program. In a November 29th presentation at a military base in Washington, Brian Hook, the US Special Representative for Iran, showed reporters weapons and fragments of weapons seized in Afghanistan, Bahrain and Yemen that it said are evidence Iran is a grave and escalating threat that must be stopped. He said, "The Iranian threat is growing and we are accumulating risk of escalation in the region if we fail to act." Hook displayed rockets, missiles, small arms and debris from an Iranian drone that he says were intended for Houthi rebels in Yemen, Shiite militants in Bahrain and the Taliban in Afghanistan. Pro-Iranian militia sites in Syria were reportedly struck. A number of pro-Iranian militia bases and Iranian weapons stores in southern Syria were targeted by Israeli airstrikes on Thursday night, according to the Al Arabiya news site. Explosions were also reported in and around the Syrian capital of Damascus, near its international airport, which Israel claims has been used by Iran to supply terror groups with advanced weaponry. According to the Kremlin-backed Sputnik news site, blasts were also heard near the town of Al-Dimas, along the Damascus-Beirut highway, which may indicate that an arms shipment was targeted in the alleged Israeli strikes. United Nations wants Syria to account for war dead and detainees. The UN Commission of Inquiry on Syria urged the Security Council on Wednesday to press the Syrian government to provide information to families about the fate of those missing or detained during the 7-year war. Following a closed-door informal meeting with council members, the Commission chairman said it was crucial to push the government to give a full account after it began in May to release death notifications. The issue of the detainees and the disappeared should not be dealt with after peace, but now is the time to consider this, said Paulo Pinheiro, who heads the commission set up to investigate human rights violations in the war. UN experts call on Iran to release women's rights protesters. A group of UN human rights experts on Thursday criticized the actions of the Iranian government in jailing human rights defenders and lawyers. They said, "We urge the government to immediately release all those who have been imprisoned for promoting and protecting the rights of women." The experts called on the government of Iran to guarantee the rights of those imprisoned, not to arbitrarily deprive them of their liberty, and to guarantee rights to fair proceedings before an independent and impartial tribunal.